Hey everybody, welcome back to the Smarketing CONNECT podcast. I'm your host, Tom Libby, one of the co-founders here at Smarketing CONNECT. And today I have with me Mellisa Adkins from Social Media Badass. And as usual, I'm not going to do a lot of the talking here. I'm going to let Mellisa kind of explain to you who she is and what she does. So let's hear it. Mellisa, go for it.
Sounds good. So as my company name implies, Social Media Badass, I handle social media channels for small to large business. I make sure it's managed and getting lots of content out. I help give them post copy, website copy, blog copy, article copy, basically anything to help their digital footprint. A lot of times that takes a lot of work to create those items, and I help them do that.
So you got that elevator pitch down great. I love that. But so you're not only managing the physical posting of the actual content, but you're actually helping them create the content itself.
Great. Yep.
Awesome. Very cool. So that, I guess, leads us to our next question. So tell us who you typically work with. Is it something, do you choose it by vertical or, by geographic, or does it matter in the size of the company? Who do you typically work with?
It doesn't matter the size of the company for me. It also doesn't matter where in the world. I have a few international clients, which is cool. So basically, my clients are companies or entrepreneurs who don't have a dedicated social media team, but they know that they need social media, or they don't have time to deal with it or to figure it out, and they'd rather assign it to somebody else to do.
Interesting. So they may have a marketing person or two on their staff, but if they're not hyper focused on social media, you can take at least that one aspect from them and let them focus on the other pieces of marketing.
Right, exactly. So a lot of times social media gets lumped into marketing, but it's actually a completely different skill set. So a lot of people are finding that out, and they're seeking out somebody who specializes in it.
Very good. Perfect. So this is probably one of my favorite questions, and I'm probably gonna say that a couple times today, but it's because I do. But when we talk about our toolbox, I think it's important for me anyway to know what tools I'm using, why, and because I'm always looking for bigger, better, faster, whatever on the tool spectrum. Do you have one that you feel is a must-have for business owners? And tell us a little bit why.
My must-have tool, you're going to be disappointed in my response because it's so simple. Google Calendar. But not only have Google Calendar, actually use it. I use it to time block my days. So this way I don't get hooked into meetings I don't have time for. I truly use it to time block. I even block in my leisure and family time, my chore time. If there's something else I need to do other than work, I time block my day. And it really helps keep me on track, get everything done, and not feel overwhelmed. It gives me a good plan for the day so I can be productive.
So really more of your own like mindset of time management piece, whether it's a Google Calendar or some other version of a calendar. But
right.
Now, do you typically tie it in with like one of those scheduling softwares like a Calendarly, or does Google do that themselves? I'm not even sure. Actually.
Yeah, so that's the one big reason why it's great for time blocking, because it can integrate with so many things. So I get reminders on my phone. I get emails when someone pops in a meeting for me. And yes, I do integrate it with Calendly. So this way my calendar is always live and people can see where I have time for them, and they can drop in when they want to meet with me.
Perfect. I actually like that one. That's a good one. So I know a lot of people, when they see this question, they go, oh, I got this one because this is easy. I know what I do, right? But I always tell people, I think that there's more to it than just, for example, for yourself. I'm guessing that people don't come in and tell you that they just want you to solve a social media problem, right? They don't call you in and say, we have a social media problem. There's got to be some sort of underlying or root cause. So can you give us some insight as to why businesses actually bring you in and have you work with them?
Sure. So what I hear the most is, I know I need you, but I don't know how I need you. So they kind of tell me, look, this is the business I have. This is what I do have online, but I know I should be on that Facey Space thing, or, the Instagrams. So we kind of talk through what their goals are, what they're looking to do, who they're wanting to reach through social media, and then I help them narrow down and decide which channels they should start with. Because you don't need to be everything to everybody, so you don't have to be on Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook and Snapchat and all these things if it doesn't make sense for your business. So I just help them narrow it down, and then we go from there.
Interesting. So it really is truly still a social media problem, but it's really more at the root level, meaning I know I should be on social media, or I know I should do social media. I just don't know where and why and how. And then you help them basically navigate all of that.
Right, exactly.
Okay, very cool. Interesting. So this question is a little bit different. I think that most people, most companies hire either a marketing consultant, sales consultant of some sort throughout their business life cycle. And they tend to lean toward their consultants when they're hiring another consultant. So if like for me as a sales professional, they come to me and ask me, how do I hire a marketing person to do some of this marketing person? I give them advice on what they should be looking for. So do your clients ask you for other disciplines of marketing, and how do you advise them on how to hire that person?
They do. And a lot of times I get lumped in with SEO, which I do work with SEO because I have to be able to write the copy to be optimized in that way. But I'm not an SEO person, so I will introduce them to somebody else in my network. So I think when you're looking to hire a sales or a marketing agency, I always tell people to look at two things. Number one, make sure they're not giving you overinflated promises. You're going to get 100,000 followers in 2 weeks. It's not possible. It's not sustainable. You're not getting the right kind of followers. So just don't go for the overinflated claims. And then when you're talking to them, tell them everything you need. And just listen to see if they're telling you, okay, we don't do this, but we know someone. Okay, so if they're willing to tell you what they don't know, that's a good person to be working with.
I love that. Actually, that's a really good sign of somebody who's being a bit transparent. So transparency
Right.
there is really important, because again, I'm a sales professional. People ask me marketing questions all the time, and I tell them I'm not a marketing person. I have no idea. So you really need to talk to a marketing professional, about your marketing. So that's,
Exactly.
I'm glad, I'm glad I do that then, because to your point.
It's part of the like, no trust factor.
Yeah.
You have to trust who you're working with and know that they're going to tell you the right thing if you're not on the right track. So
Right. I agree 100%. Okay. So this is a little bit, an opportunity for us to humanize ourselves a little bit, make people, realize that this podcast is not just about business, and we're not throwing stuff, at them, but we can be funny and kind of joke around a little bit. And it is probably my favorite question. And I know I said that again, but so Mellisa, if you could be a superhero, who would it be, and tell us why?
Okay, so again, you're going to hate my answer because I know nothing about superheroes. I've never been into them. This was the hardest question for me through the whole interview. But what I will say is I do have a real life hero. I have a dog sanctuary, and the dog that my sanctuary is named after, Mama Mabel. She is the strongest woman I know. She has survived cancer twice. She's lost a leg, and she lives with a disease that is long-term. It cannot be cured, and it causes painful lumps on her body that need surgery often. But through it all, she has the biggest, brightest personality. She's so funny. She's so silly. And she's like my real life true superhero, just based on her tenacity alone. Like, if everyone could just live life like that, I mean, how great would this world be? I love her.
Yeah. And this is, who was this again? You cut out just a brief second when you said.
Sure. This is my rescue dog. Her name is Mama Mabel.
Oh, the dog. Yeah. Hey, I'm okay with the dog being the superhero. I really am perfectly okay. Yeah. Melissa and I were talking before we jumped on the podcast. We both own quite a few dogs. So, but not only that, but there have been dogs as superheroes too. So like, you gotta throw that in there too. But all right, so we won't get into all that right now. But this, so we always give our guests an opportunity to kind of pay it forward a little bit and tell us about, one of their colleagues or somebody they've worked with in the past from the sales and marketing world that they feel deserves a shout out, a little bit of credit, give them some kudos. And then of course, we'll tag them in the post, and we'll try to hopefully we'll maybe even get them as a guest on the podcast too. Hopefully it'll entice them enough to be on the podcast. But so do you have somebody like that in your world, Mellisa, that you'd like to give a shout out
Yeah,
to?
and they immediately, the first person who comes to my mind, her name is Lori Ramos, and her company is Ask Relevant. And she does all things digital as well. And we've been working together for about 10 years on various projects because she's kind of like the yin to my yang. If I don't know how to do it, she knows how to do it, and vice versa. She's just completely amazing, and she's the one that turned me on to Google Calendars and time blocking. She truly cares about the success of her clients, and she works specifically with non-techie entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, mompreneurs. She just wants everyone to live their best life in the easiest way possible, and she holds your hand and teaches you how to do it through technology, even if you're not a technology person.
Oh, that's great.
So she's just super cool, and she gives a lot of talks around technology, social media, how to make things easier for yourself and business, and she's just a great resource to have.
That actually sounds awesome. Sounds like somebody I should know if you anybody who knows me. So, all right. So everybody, this is Melissa's contact information. Everything that you see here is what I found, as I normally say, forward-facing, public. I didn't go into, my personal cell phone numbers and pull out Melissa's phone numbers. That's on her website. So, Mellisa, however, aside from what people see here on the screen, are there any other ways in which, or anything else people should be following you on or looking you up on, or any other avenues that people should be looking for you?
Sure. So the information you found is a great way to get in contact with me. However, if you hop onto Facebook or Instagram, of course, and look for Social Media Badass, I'm there. And I try to make those spaces a good resource for inspiration for business owners and little tips and tricks and pointers on how to do social media yourself. So if you're still in the realm of doing this on your own, you can get some good tips, tricks, and tools that you need to do it yourself.
Awesome. Well, and if you remember nothing else, I mean, just remember you are on the Smarketing Connect podcast, and Mellisa is one of our experts at Smarketing Connect. So if you forget any of this, or you can't write it down fast enough, or whatever it is, if you reach out to us, we will make sure you get in touch with Mellisa if she's the one you're looking for. We have no problem doing that either. So anybody who does not see this or does not have, this information, we'll get you there. So just reach out to us at Smarketing Connect, and we'll connect you over to Mellisa. So Mellisa, thank you very much. This has been awesome for me. I've loved having you on, and hopefully it was fun for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate your time and being able to talk through some of these questions.
Cool. Bye, everybody.